everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, you guys are ready. Well, I hope you're ready. It is my final unboxing for the month of December. Well, my final Boxycharm unboxing for the month of December. This is the 2020 December Boxycharm base box unboxing. We're going to jump into all of the spoils inside, all of the goodies, full unboxing, review, demo. I will be putting most of the box to the test, as well as giving you guys the reasons of what I will not be using and why. All the details on everything. This is variation 16 for those of you who are interested, and we're going to be doing all of that in just a second. I did just want to give you guys a quick heads up. Make sure you are following me at Glam over on Instagram because I have a massive giveaway. It is the biggest giveaway I think I have ever done. It might be... It's close. Like, we're at nearly $4,000 in product and prizes. So make sure you're following me over there so you can get notified the second that the giveaway goes live. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel, and let's jump right into the video. Alright, so the theme card is just like the other two boxes, the Bubble and Glitz. I will link both my premium and luxe unboxings up above so you can check out those. I did say in both of those, I love that it's New Year's themed because I feel like of all the holidays in December, New Year's often gets overlooked, and the fact that we're going into the champagne and the goodies, I love that. Again, this is variation 16. Let's jump right in. I'm actually going to start with the two products I will not be using, and then I'll demo the other three. The first is the Ofra Banana Powder. It is a brightening and setting powder. The innovative matte powder is lightly banana scented and extremely versatile, used to conceal dark under eye circles, set concealer and foundation highlight, or even as a matte eyeshadow. Retail value of $35. Now, I have three issues with this product. The first is I have a very cool undertone in my skin, which means my skin is pink-based, so yellow in my under eyes makes me look like I'm sick. Number two, this is actually a really little known fact. I hate banana anything. Anything scented banana, taste of banana, I will avoid it like the plague, to the point where one year as a gag gift, a friend of mine got me 40 pounds of banana runts. The candy, they look like bananas and they smell like banana, and that's gross. I don't like banana. That is number two. And then number three, when it comes to powders like this, I prefer translucent. I don't like pigment when I'm setting my under eyes. A little bit is okay, but like my favorite under eye setting powders have to be the Charlotte Tilbury translucent setting powder because they're barely tinted. I have it in the shade 2 and 1. It is so barely tinted that I find that I can really get a nice smooth under eye without adding additional pigment, because the more you put under here, the heavier your under eyes look. So I don't love powders like this. So I'm going to drop it in an upcoming giveaway. The other item I will not be using on camera is from Tarte. This is the Maneater Mascara. Warning, maximum compliments ahead with this volumizing, lengthening, and curling mascara with a soft flex brush and a lightweight triple black formula. Retails for $23. Now, I did mention in my spoiler video, I do not like this mascara. I find it to be a little clumpy and I find it to be a little flaky, at least on my eyes, so I'm not even going to waste my time opening it. I would rather give it to someone who's going to enjoy it. But with this product, I did want to bring up an important point. This is a full-size item, but on the back where the barcode goes, I don't know if you guys can see, it does say sample, not for sale. This is not a sample item. This is 100% full size. A lot of brands do this. I do have the Tarte Micellar Water that says sample, not for sale as well. I got this in my Glossy Box advent calendar. A lot of brands will do this because they've noticed over the time, and I'm not saying that a lot of people do this, but enough people do it where they will get the product with the barcode, and they will go to stores and try and return it for cash or return it for value, which is really unfair to the brands that they're putting their items into a box and then people are just trying to make a quick buck off of them. So when it does say sample, not for sale, make sure you Google, make sure you look up the sizes because this is 100% a full-size item, but it does say sample because, again, this is not something they want people returning to the store. This was something that people mentioned with both this product. I've seen it with the, actually, mostly Tarte products, where the flower-topped, it was like a lip balm. It said sample, and everyone thought it was a trial size. It was not trial. It just says sample, like lab sample or mass-produced so that people can't return it. All right, the next item out of the box comes from the original makeup eraser. This is called The Sponge. It is a cute little carry case ball, and inside you have the sponge. I did already wet this, so this is already at full size. Just for reference, this is the wet Hank and Henry sponge. So this is like the biggest sponge ever. So, well, second biggest. They do have the EcoTools one that's massive, the face and body. But this is a fairly standard sponge size. The first ever machine washable sponge specially formulated by the Makeup Eraser, featuring the same unique wash tech technology to erase makeup out of your sponge simply by washing. So the ball is so that you can drop it in here and throw it in the washing machine. Now, unless you're doing laundry every day, I do recommend washing your sponge between every single use. I filmed yesterday, this sponge has already been cleaned. I'm a crazy person, I know that. I'm not putting a dirty sponge on my face. I don't recommend you doing the same. I have seen people who do it, and just between you and me, don't. I am going to be using that today. I did already prep and prime my skin, so I'm going to be going right into my Beauty For Real MVP Tinted Moisturizer because this is my favorite complexion product. I am going to take a little bit of that on the tip of my finger today, just because I want to dot this around, and then I will blend it out with the sponge. I was having a conversation recently with Leslie, who is the founder of Beauty For Real, and she mentioned that she likes to apply it with her fingertips and then blend it with a sponge. You guys know I notoriously hate using my fingers for everything, but when the founder of a brand who is also a celebrity makeup artist tells me how she uses a product that she formulated, I have to try it out. So obviously with this foundation or this tinted moisturizer, I have said it is very forgiving, and when you first apply it, it is going to look too dark, but the shade does basically blend in the second you grab your sponge. So I'm just going to clean off my finger now that I feel really gross because I use my finger to clean. I'm going to grab the bouncy side of that sponge, and starting in the center of the face, I'm just going to press that into the skin. It actually looks beautiful. I love the way that turned out. I'm going to grab a tiny bit of concealer. Normally I would use the MVP concealer right in the cap, but for today I want something a little bit more coverage because my under eyes have been through it. I feel like I'm not sleeping anymore. I made a joke on Instagram the other day. If I answer a message or a text before 10 a.m., something is wrong, because I notoriously am up until 2 or 3 in the morning and then don't get out of bed until 10. I've been up at like 8 all week, which for me is a big deal. I'm going to use the bottom of the sponge just to blend this in. So I do find, this is Tarte Shape Tape. This is notoriously one of the most full coverage concealers. I find that I'm not getting as much coverage as I normally do. So this is definitely a more porous sponge, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I find that one of the biggest mistakes that I have seen in both, talking to people or even back when I used to be an educator with Sephora is people using too much product. So a lot of times people hate on sponges and products that absorb product and soak it up. But in this instance, I actually think that that is a plus because it does keep people from over applying. Looks good. The base looks very smooth. I feel like this applied a nice thin layer and blended everything out quite nicely. So I have a few steps before I'm ready for the next item in the box. So I'm going to go powder my face off camera, throw on my brows, add a little bit of features back in, and I'll be right back for the next item. All right, base is done. I definitely just poked myself in the eye, so this is going to be fun as my right, your left eye tears the entire time I finish this video. Next item out of the box is from Huda Beauty. This is the Amethyst Obsessions palette. If you saw my spoiler review, you knew that of the different options, this was the one I wanted the most because you know me and a purple smoky eye. Each Huda Beauty Obsessions eyeshadow palette is packed with a selection of 9 highly pigmented mattes and striking shimmers with a smooth, blendable texture. Amethyst has 6 duochrome and 3 matte shades in a commanding mauve and violet tone. Retails for $27. Now, I'm really excited to play with this. I already know I love the Huda Beauty formula because I have several Huda palettes. Well, they're a little blurry, but they're back there on the shelf. So we're going to be using that, and for the eye look, I will be using the Crown brushes again. These came in my, was it Luxe? No, my premium box. So I'm going to start with the Fluffy Shader brush, and I'm going to go into this shade right here. The one issue I have with these monochromatic palettes is that, obviously, because they're monochromatic, you can really only do so much with them. Yes, obviously, there's a lot of pink and purple tones in here, but the downside is you really only have pink and purple tones. We're going to make it look good anyway. Now I'm taking a very light amount, If you pack this shade on, it will be very pigmented, but I personally want a very light dusting because I'm using this as a transition shade. Right, once I have that down, I'm going to use that same shade, but I'm going to pick up quite a bit more of it, and I am going to pack that on the outer portion of the eye and then take it into the socket. I will be layering other shades on top of it, so I really don't want it to be too intense, but I do want to make sure that you are getting a decent amount of that color on the outer portion of the eye so that when we layer the purple on top, it'll be really smooth. And notice when I blend that out, I am staying in the crease of the eye as opposed to blending upward into the transition area, because I really want this to be pretty low to the eye with the intense color. And then when there's nothing left on my brush, then I will lightly blend a little bit higher. Jumping into the flat shader brush, I'm going to take the dark purple shade, and I'm going to take a decent enough amount of it so you can see it on your brush. And I am going to basically stamp it just on the outer portion of the lid. Notice how I'm staying under the crease for now. I want this to be a little smoky, but I don't want it to be nearly as grungy as the look I did in my last video. This is going to be a little bit more of like your traditional cat eye, smoky eye glam, and less 1990s smoky eye. And once that shape is down, just another quick blend. And once that blend is there, I'm just going to alternate going back in with more of that purple just to build up that color, really just concentrating it on the outer third of the lid, low down under the crease, and then blending the socket to soften it, and back and forth until we have the desired intensity. Once we have the desired intensity, I'm going to take that same first brush with a tiny bit of my face setting powder, and I'm just going to blend the edges just to diffuse and soften them a little bit. You can use a pigmented setting powder, you can use a translucent powder, really just anything that's going to soften the blend. I'm going to finish up with the matte before I put the shimmer on the lid. So I'm going to go into a purple eyeliner. This one is Empire from Urban Decay. I'm going to give it a quick sharpen because it needs that. The reason I like using this purple specifically above pretty much every other purple I use, you guys will see, is it's more of like a brown purple. It's a little bit softer in color than like a true vibrant purple. So you get the same definition effect as if you used a black liner. It matches your eye colors, or your eye shape. Eyeshadow. Words are hard. I'm going to go into the pencil brush with the darker brown, or the darker purple we used up top, and just lightly set it down and slightly buff it out. We're getting somewhere. If you have been on my channel for a while, you'll know that the purple smoky eye thing started out as a joke, where every time somebody requested an eyeshadow look, it would always be, do a purple smoky eye, do a purple smoky eye. And then I started doing them so much that they became like my favorite. And now I find that like, put eyeshadows in front of me, or if I'm going out, or if it's like, well, we don't go out anymore, but back in the day, we're going out, we've got an event, we have a wedding, or even we're just going out for dinner. If I was doing my makeup, it was a purple smoky eye. I'm just using that other brush with no additional product just to continue to smoke out that lower lash. And once I get to this area on the outer portion of the eye, I do just kind of blend everything together. The biggest mistake you can make with your eyeshadow, in my opinion, is disconnect. Unless you're doing something super editorial, but having the lower lash line not look like it meets the upper lid just makes it look a little too disjointed for me, and I really like when on that outer portion of the eye, you take that color up and into the lid area, just so that the whole thing just looks a little more blended. Going back into that first transition shade, I am going to blend the crease and then around the lower lash, just to continue shaping the eye and giving that illusion that everything is super connected. It's also, just because of the tone, like when you're doing monochromatic, doing something like this also helps everything to look more blended, because it looks like I took one purple and really blended it and smoked it out, when in reality it was 2 shades. I think I want to go in with this middle shade right here, just because it keeps it the most monochromatic, but that color is calling to me, so I'll probably use that on the inner corner. So I'm going to grab, you know what, there really is no lid brush in this palette, or in the collection, so I'm going to go into a different lid brush, and yeah, I'm really torn with what I want to do. Yeah, I'm going to take the shade I said I was going to. This formula does apply better wet than dry, especially the shimmers. So I'm going to give it a quick mist. And we're going to pack that on. And honestly, I think this looks beautiful. I'm going to take the flat shadery brush with no additional product and just make sure that I'm pulling where that darker shade is into where we put that shimmer, just so that the whole thing looks well blended. I'm really feeling this. And then on the detailer brush, I'm going to take this shade down here for the inner corner. Oh, I love this. That is beautiful. I'm going to go throw on mascara and brows off camera, and I'll be right back for the last item in the box. All right, I put on mascara and my eye instantly started tearing because I told you I poked myself before. So I'm going to skip falsies just because I don't think my eyes can handle that kind of abuse. Because we have added such a warm, smoky, cooly toned eye. No, we're going to try that again. Because the eyes are so bold, I feel like it's washing out the cheeks a little bit. So I'm going to grab a tiny bit more bronzer just so that we have a little more sculpt and definition to the cheeks. The last thing we want to do is wash ourselves out. So I feel like the blush tone is nice, but I'm just taking a little bit of my Il Makiage bronzer just to add a little bit more depth to the cheeks. And notice how a little bit of bronzer just kind of pulls the eyes in a little bit and makes it, you know, a little bit less intense. I mean, we want it to be the focal point. We really want it to be this stunning eye look, but we do want to make sure that the face still feels balanced. And a smoky eye on skin that's like underdone or understated, I think can be detrimental. All right, on to the final product in the box. This is from MAC Cosmetics. This is the Luster Lipstick. It retails for $19. Meet MAC Lipstick, the iconic product that made MAC famous. Lightweight formula, glides on easily with a sheer to medium buildable coverage and a lustrous finish. This is in the shade Hug Me, which is a really pretty terracotta-y nude. I'm going to try it without a lip liner just to see how it looks, and if I have to add a lip liner, I will. The color is definitely beautiful, and that, I think, complements this eye beautifully. It's not super cool, it's not super warm, it doesn't make the lip look too overdone, but it's still in that nude family, and I love that it has that really nice shine to it. Talk through the box as a whole. So, all in all, this box has a retail value of $122, which, of the retail values, it is on the lower side for what we've been getting. I mean, my Luxe this month was over $500, so I definitely think from a retail value it's a little bit low. That being said, I am a huge fan of all 3 products I used today, so I definitely got the $25 month subscription price in the products I like. Obviously, there are 2 products in there that I will not be using and will be throwing into an upcoming giveaway, just because they're really not my vibe. But that being said, I think it all turned out really quite nice. Let me know what you guys think down below. What are your thoughts? As always, I did link all of my other Boxycharm unboxings for the month, so you can check out all 3 tiers of subscription. I do have my premium, my Luxe, and this is the base box. Quick reminder, make sure you're following me over on Instagram so that you guys can be aware the second the giveaway goes live, which I believe at this point it's going to be tomorrow. I am finalizing prizes. It is over $4,000 in value. We have nails, skincare, makeup. We have so much in there. So make sure you are subscribed to my Instagram, subscribe to my channel here. I do upload every other day, so that'll be the best way to stay up to date on all the fun stuff I'm posting. And thank you guys so much. I will see you next time. Bye.